Alright, assalamu alaikum everybody. This is Mansour back at it with another video. I'm gonna talk about a tweet that Jordan Alleva made. Jordan Alleva said that everybody in Alaska know another person in Alaska that has a house on Big Lake. The reality is only those that are wealthy that know somebody that has a house on Big Lake. Now, granted, I'm not wealthy, fairly low income, but I did grow up in Potter Valley and I did go to South High. So yeah, I do know people that have houses up there, but do I associate with these people? Of course not. Why would you want to associate yourself with pretentious, elitist people that exploit the resources for profit, you know? Why? You know? So I responded that most of the people that have houses in Big Lake are wealthy. And then Jordan Alleva, who I've never heard of before, she's apparently some YouTuber. She responded, "Hard work pays off." And I responded, "You mean colonialism and capitalism?" Because that's basically what it is. You know, most of those rich people that have cabins up in Big Lake, they are in some way, shape, or form associated with oil or mining. For example, who's an example? I don't know. There are plenty, but I know there are plenty examples of people that I know that I went to high school with, whose families are in the oil industry, and they have a house up in Big Lake, and they do obnoxious things like ride snowmobiles or jet ski or whatever. So it's and about the mud volleyball tournament that's held up there summer, that's kind of like a spectacle for the super wealthy. I mean, most of the people you see going up there either have connections to the super wealthy in Anchorage, or they're part of the super wealthy themselves in Anchorage. Ain't no working class people, you know, working a job, a real job. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got money for that, connections for that. You ain't gonna see someone like me, or somebody like, I don't know, somebody like David Reyes, or somebody like, who else? Somebody, you ain't gonna see working class people up there. You're gonna see people that are upper middle class, wealthy, or have connections to those who are wealthy, and basically kiss up to them on a daily basis. That's who you're gonna see. And that's the reality. That's the reality of the situation, man. So for Jordan Alleva to say that, you know, hard work pays off, you know, Alaskans know another Alaskan that have a house on Big Lake, that's completely false. It's Anchorage centric, because Anchorage is only one city. Yeah, it's the biggest city. It's very Anchorage centric. It's very South Side centric, to be specific, because many of these wealthy people in Anchorage that have cabins in Big Lake, they're from the South Side, which is the area between Potter Valley Road and Huffman Road. Or they're from the O'Malley area of the hillside, which is everything between O'Malley and Abbott Loop. So, you know, it's just preposterous. It's a preposterous statement. And the hard work pays off. Not necessarily true, because you can work hard, but you know, and never accumulate any wealth, but you can kiss up and become wealthy. And we've seen situations like this on a national level as well as on a local level. On a national level, we've seen this with Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Alexandria Ocasio and Ayanna Pressley, where they have kissed up to lobbyists, particularly the Zionist lobby, and they have become massively wealthy. On the other hand, you have a lot of poor working class hourly wage earners that never become wealthy or have no intention of becoming wealthy because they don't want to kiss up. So, or just want to be financially comfortable rather than super wealthy like myself. So that statement by Jordan Alleva is so preposterous. I mean, when you have people like uber wealthy people like Carl Hickel and the Zietlows and the Pudlows partying on Big Lake, people from Bear Valley and Turnagain and Huffman, I mean, that should say something, right? You ain't gonna see nobody from Scenic Foothills, Midtown, Mountain View, Fairview, Government Hill, or Spenard partying in Big Lake. Come on, that's why? Because those are predominantly lower income areas, and most of us don't have the means, the connections, or the access to participate in those activities. And quite frankly, most of us don't want to associate ourselves with people that have made their money off of resource exploitation. That's another thing. Many of those that have houses in Big Lake are tied into the oil industry, and they have made their money off of resource exploitation and the exploitation of lands that don't belong to them, that were gained via colonialism. And that's something else we got to point out, right? So Jordan Alleva lives in her little South Anchorage bubble, and apparently she hasn't been to the other side of town. And as Muldoon Manny said in his song East Side, come to my side, see how we live, right? Because I think she's one of those people that would look down upon lower income neighborhoods and fearmonger off of demographics like many Anglos and Germans in Anchorage do, when they look down upon areas like Mountain View or Fairview or Muldoon or Midtown. I feel like they're fear-mongering off of demographics. And, as somebody who is from a minority background, first and foremost, and grew up on the south side, but then moved to the city, it's... And part of the reason I moved to the city is because I didn't fit in on the south side. I mean, I stuck out like a sore thumb, But as somebody that grew up on the south side and then moved to the city as an adult, it's like, and is from a minority background, it's really revealing of who the south side is and who people on the south side are. The way they talk about low-income, predominantly minority neighborhoods like Mountain View, Fairview, and Muldoon and Government Hill, Scenic Foothills, and Midtown, and Tudor area too. So that is my thoughts on Jordan Alleva. And I think a lot of these people in Turnagain or Bayshore or Potter Valley, Rabbit Creek, Bear Valley, Huffman, Prominence Point, that area, those neighborhoods of town. A lot of those people just live in their bubble. And, you know, they might know lower income people. They might know people from other nationalities. But they, especially those nationalities that have suffered a lot from colonialism, and that continue suffering to this day from colonialism. But until, you know, but they will never know how we live. And that's why they fearmonger off of demographics and demonize entire neighborhoods in Anchorage. And yo, I'm sick of it, man. How are you? It's hypocritical to call out the narrow-mindedness of the South Side, then right after you do that, demonize an entire neighborhood and scapegoat off of demographics, fearmonger off of demographics. It's so hypocritical, yet I've heard so many, especially Anglos, Germans, and Irish in Anchorage do that, and it's got to come to an end. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. Like, subscribe, and that's all for today. Peace.